ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंसकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्रीमद् अभय चरणारविंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी शिला प्रभुपाद की, इसका अनफाउंड आचार्य शिला प्रभुपाद की, नाम आचार्य शिला हरिदास ठाकुर की, ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. So welcome to this morning Bhagavatam class. Today we are reciting the verse from Canto 4, Chapter 9. Dhruva Maharaj returns home and text number 66. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Text 66. Please repeat. Vikshoda vayasam tam cha prakritinam cha sammatam anurakta prajam raja dhruvam chakre bhuvapatim. Vikshoda vayasam tam cha prakritinam cha sammatam anurakta prajam raja dhruvam chakre bhuvapatim. Vikshoda vayasam tam cha prakritinam cha sammatam anurakta prajam raja dhruvam chakre bhuvapatim. Prabhuji. Vikshoda vayasam tam cha prakritinam cha sammatam anurakta prajam raja dhruvam chakre bhuvapatim. Vikshoda vayasam tam cha prakritinam cha sammatam anurakta prajam raja dhruvam chakre bhuvapatim. Mataji. Vikshoda vayasam tam cha prakritinam cha sammatam anurakta prajam raja dhruvam chakre bhuvapatim. Word to word meaning. Viksha, after seeing. Uda vayasam, mature in age. Tam, dhruva. Cha, and. Prakritinam, by the ministers. Cha, also. Sammatam, approved of. Anurakta, beloved. Prajam, by his subjects. Raja, the king. Dhruvam, Dhruva Maharaja. Chakre, made. Bhuva, of the earth. Patim, master. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation, please repeat. When, after concentration, King Uttanapada saw that Dhruva Maharaj was suitably mature to take charge of the kingdom, and that His ministers were agreeable, and the citizens were also very fond of him. He enthroned Dhruva as emperor of this planet. Purport. Although it is misconceived that formally the monarchical government was autocratic, from the description of this verse, it appears that only was King Uttanapada a Rajarshi, but before installing his beloved son Dhruva on the throne of empire of the world, he consulted his ministerial officers, considered the opinion of the public, and also personally examined Dhruva's character. Then the king installed him on the throne to take charge of the affairs of the world. When a Vaishnava king like Dhruva Maharaj is the head of the government of the entire world, the world is so happy that it is not possible to imagine or describe. Even now, if people would all become Krishna conscious, the democratic government of the present day would be exactly like the kingdom of heaven. If all people became Krishna conscious, they would vote for persons of the category of Dhruva Maharaja. If the post of chief executive were occupied by such a Vaishnava, all the problems of satanic government would be solved. The youthful generation of the present day is very enthusiastic in trying to overthrow the government in different parts of the world. But unless people are Krishna conscious like Dhruva Maharaj, there will be no appreciable changes in the government, because people who anchor to attain the political position by hook or by crook cannot think of the welfare of the people. They are only busy to keep their position of prestige and monetary gain. They have very little time to think of the welfare of the citizens. Let's do Mangalacharan. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhano Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpa Tarubhyascha Krupa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktarunda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. So we are continuing the pastimes of Dhruva Maharaj from Canto 4. So in today's verse, if you see, briefly recollect what all had happened. So Dhruva Maharaj, after doing bhakti and severe austerity in the forest, he got darshan of Vishnu, and then he returned back to home. So he was lamenting that, okay, when I got the darshan of Vishnu, I should have tried to go back to Godhead. Rather, he was getting the boon of like emperor. He will become emperor for 36,000 years, and then he will go to the Dhruva planet. So he was lamenting, he had missed the opportunity of getting the bhakti, pure bhakti from Vishnu. Rather, he got the material things. But still, he got the darshan of Vishnu. That is a great and important thing. So after that, So many glorifications happened. Like various people spoke, like the Uttanapad, Mother Surichi, and everybody welcomed him. Now that after some time, the time has come to to make Rama Rajya as emperor. So for that, what Uttanapada did, he consulted his ministers, he took the opinion of his citizens, and he also personally observed the behavior of Dhruva Maharaj. Of course, he will be very good. He is a devotee of Krishna. Definitely, he will not have any bad remarks. So, he personally observed his character and the behavior, and finally, he became an emperor. So, in this purport, Prabhupada was comparing the ancient kingdom of ruling the kings by country, the earth planet, and current day governments. Like the briefly Prabhupada made comparison. See, if you see the monarchical government, what will happen? The king will be there ruling the country, the kingdom. After some time, when the king is old, or he will be living for forest, then his family member, his son will take the kingdom. Then again he will rule. And then it will continue. The family will continuously ruling the kingdom. So there is a high possibility that it's one family is ruling the kingdom forever. In the modern age, we could see many inappropriate things happen. But that is not the case in the olden days. And in the current day, that was the olden days, where the kings were ruling the kingdom. But in the current day, what is happening is democratic government, which means people will choose who has to rule. And that is what in most of the countries in the current. But in some cases, people like the autocratic, the dictatorship, people will not be elected by government. Through some means, they will come to the power and they will start ruling. That is happening currently. So, there are different variations. Olden days, it was completely properly ruled by king. But in the current stage, it's a democratic government. People will elect, or some cases, some president or some leader of the country, he will rule with the dictatorship. He will not listen. People will not have any say in when ruling the government. So these are various things. But in olden days, how this kingdom, in the current stage, in the current day, we are seeing if the family members are continuously ruling, there is so much inappropriate things happening. But in olden days, how kings were ruling the family members, one after another, successfully ruling. Because if you see so many our scriptures, like we take Srimad Bhagavatam, like we have Parikshit Maharaj, Ambarish Maharaj, Mahabharata, Yudhishthira, Lord Ram, those people are great kings. We still read their pastimes from our scriptures, right? Though successfully they ruled the kingdom. And even now, right from Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapar Yuga, in Kali Yuga beginning also, we have some royal families, right? So all these things were successfully ruled. What is the underlying reason? If you see, the basic reason is the Varnashrama Dharma was established, properly followed in the olden days. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, right, Chatur Varna Maya Srishta Guna Karma Vibhagasa. So the Varnas, like ashramas, were created based on the Guna and Karma, the activities you do and the qualities you exhibit. It's not by birth, if you are in the Brahman family, you will become a Brahmana. If you are in the Kshatriya family, you are based on the Guna and Karma, these Varnas were created, like Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Shudra. Right? These are the various Varnas created. In this, Brahmana is the head of the society. He will read the scriptures, he will understand, and he will teach everyone, including king. So all the kings, they will get right advice from these various sages, great rishis, great munis, and based on that, they will be executing. It's not that they have the power, they will do whatever they want. It's not like, it was not happening like that. What they were doing, they were taking this advice from the sages, ministers, and properly qualified people. Based on their inputs, they will be executing their power. But in the current days, in the beginning of Kali Yuga, still if you see, we have some royal families. We keep hearing it in the current tradition. Like if the British royal family. Now in the current stage, the royal family kingdom, those who ruled kingdom previously, this royal family, it's only honorary position. They don't have any say in this government. But if you see those who watch Puri Jagannath Ratha Yatra live, in the online channel, TV. You see, before beginning of the Ratha Yatra, Puri, king of the Puri will come. He will clean that and he will do the opening, right? So royal families are still exist, but their position is just like a honorary position, right? So that is what we see. But in olden days, they were successfully ruling because of this Varnashrama system. As the age progress, Satya Yuga to Treta Yuga to Dwapar Yuga, Kali Yuga, this Varnashrama system was diminishing, right? In the current stage, no proper Brahmana, right? If there is no proper Brahmana, king will not get a right inputs. And obviously, king will rule as per their own wish. That is what we could see in the current generation. So, in the purport, Prabhupada was mentioning that King Uttanapada is a Rajarshi. Raja Rishi. Rishi means like a saintly person or like a Brahmana. Rajarshi means same person, king who is like a Rishi. So, like we have in a, like Yudhishthira is also Rajarshi. Parikshit Maharaj, Lord Ramchandra. These are all Rajarshis they mentioned, right? The Rishi, they exhibit qualities of a saint, qualities of a Brahmana, but they ruling the kingdom. So that is, and we have a many like Devarshi is there, Narada, right? Narada is a Devarshi, means he will be guiding the day, he will give advice to heavenly planet, kings in the heavenly planet, everyone, right? So there's like we have a Maharshi, Brahmarshi, there's various designations based on their potency and the ability. So these the Devarshis or Maharshis or Brahmarshis, these people will be guiding ring kings in the olden days to rule that kingdom properly. Now, another important thing, when we compare, like in a current days also, like when suppose if they are talking about any king, in the olden days, there are many kings who ruled the earth planet, and so much many people successfully ruled. But when we see, there is a benchmark set up by some kings. Like generally when we try to see, okay, this person is ruling very nicely, we take a benchmark as a role model as one particular king, right? Who is there, any idea? Generally in a common normal sense, we take an example of one particular, if a particular person is ruling the government properly, oh, this person is ruling like so and so king. Generally in a normal sense, which king name will come in the picture? Any idea? Lord Ram. Generally, people will say Rama Rajya, right? Ram is the standard, the more role model for administration. That is what we see in the current district. If a person is ruling nicely, they'll say, okay, he's ruling like a Ram. So this government, this kingdom is like a Rama Rajya. Like that is what people will compare. Like what is that greatness in the Rama Rajya? Like, but whenever, sometimes in the modern age, whenever we see Rama Rajya, people will get different meanings, different interpretations, right? Lord Ram is from Hindu religion. That's what the people, in the scriptures it is mentioned. So Rama Rajya means it's a religious sentiment. And some people went to interpret, and some people will say, the Rama Rajya, you have to chant only Ram name. Nothing else is allowed. Like these are various interpretations, misconceptions currently prevailing in the society. But that is not correct. Recently, His Grace Chaitanya Charan Prabhu gave a very nice lecture on this. What is the Rama Rajya? So today when we are trying to compare this modern day world and the olden day king, how they are ruling, Prabhupada was describing, I'll try to take few points from that and I will try to understand in the context of Dhruva Maharaj what exactly Rama Rajya means. Right? It's not that it's a Hindu scripture, is there in the Hindu religion, it's a Rama Rajya. You have to chant Lord the whole Ram name, that is compulsory. No such thing. That is not the Rama Rajya. Rama Rajya, if you have to understand what is Rama Rajya, we need to go back to Bhagavad Gita. In Bhagavad Gita, chapter 4, we have to see generally another important point. In the modern day corporate world, there is one important word people use, like mission statement. Right? What is the meaning of mission statement? If you are doing some activity, if you are a big company, you are trying to perform a big activity, then you come up with this mission statement. Said, what is the goal of this activity? What is the purpose of this activity? Or if you are launching a big product, you want to make it popular, you will come up with a mission statement. This product is purpose of this product is so and so. The mission statement is very normally used in the outside that materialistic kind of corporate world. Similarly, Krishna came up with his mission statement in Bhagavad Gita. For that, we need to see chapter 4. We know the famous verse, 4.7. What is that? Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyudanam adharmasya tadatmanam srijamyaham. What Krishna is saying? Srijamyaham, I will manifest when? Whenever there is a decline in dharma, I will come. That is his Krishna's mission statement. He will say, whenever there is a decline in the dharma, the religious principles, he will come. That is his first statement. And then next, when we say the 4.8, what is there? Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha duskritam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. Again, first statement he said, first verse 4.7, I am descending to establish. Whenever there is a religion declining, dharma is declining, I will come. Then how is establishing dharma? He will protecting the pious people by killing miscreants. So these are the two activities. He will kill the miscreants, those who are not following dharma, and he will protect the pious people. That way he will re-establish dharma. That is his mission statement. Then these are the important points. This is the purpose of why Krishna is saying, why I am descending onto earth planet. That is what Krishna is saying. And next verse, if you see 4.9, Krishna is saying, Janma karma chame devyam evam vo vyakti tattvata chaktva deham punarjanma naitimam etiso arjuna. The verse he is saying that Krishna, those who understand my transcendental form, my activities, my pastimes, once if they understand properly, they will go back to Godhead. They will never come to this material world. This aspect is bhakti. Right? And the next 4.9 also it is saying that Vitaraga Bhaya Krodha. In that verse, what Krishna is saying, if you detach from the material things, if you take surrender or shelter on me, and if you overcome all anger, you take shelter on me, and you detach from the material things, then you will come back to my abode. So this is also bhakti. If you see 4.7, 4.8, he is talking about dharma. And that he is doing. And 4.9, 4.10 is talking about bhakti. These are the two things, right? But if when you see, observe this, first 7.88, what Krishna is doing, it is certain that it will happen whenever there is a decline in dharma. Krishna is definitely going to come. That is there is no doubt in that, right? But when it comes to bhakti, he is not enforcing. Is that what he is saying? If you do this, if you understand my transcendental form, if you understand my transcendental qualities, if you listen my pastimes, you come back to my abode. If you do this, he is not saying that you should do this, no, he is not saying that. If you do this, you will come. Same thing. If you detach from this material thing, if you control your anger, if you surrender to me, then even. So these are the two things. Dharma, which his responsibility, he is saying, I will come whenever there is a decline in the society. But for others, those who wanted to follow bhakti, what Krishna is saying, he is not enforcing. He is saying voluntary. When you do, is not, if it's your voluntary choice, it's your free will. If you do this, you will progress in bhakti. Otherwise, you will not. It's not. He is not enforcing. So this is what we can see. This is the chapter 4, 7, 8, 9, 10 verses. We can conclude what Krishna is saying. One is establishing dharma, that Krishna, it is compulsory. Right? And bhakti, it's voluntary. It's your choice. But everyone has to, this is a regular, it's like a legislative. Dharma is like a legislative, means everyone has to follow that dharma. There is no exception. All the people in the kingdom, all the people in the society, they have to follow the dharma. But bhakti is not making it's not making mandatory. So that's why Krishna is saying that I will descend to the earth planet not to establish bhakti, but to establish dharma. Right? Bhakti he is not enforcing. But dharma, Krishna is enforcing. So if you see Ravana, pastimes of from Treta Yuga, Lord Ram pastime, Ravana was killed in the battle filled with Rama. But why Ravana was killed? It's not because, since Rama was the king, Ravana was killed not just because Ravana was not worshipping Ram. It's not because of Ravana is not chanting Lord's name. The reason is he kidnapped Sita. That is adharma. That is the reason Ravana was killed. Same way, in Kurukshetra war, battlefield of Kurukshetra, Duryodhana and all his army was killed. Right? So why Duryodhana was killed in the army? He disturbed Draupadi. In the normal sense, like if you see, if someone is doing some abominable activities, what they will do? they will do is not in open place. They will do secretly. Reason? They will have a fear if somebody sees. They will take to the government. They will take to the police. And police will come and arrest. They have a fear of law and order situation. Dharma. There they are doing the incorrectly. But they worry about dharma. Right? People will see they are doing some wrong things. And it will be known to public. Then they will get punished. That kind of fear people are having. But what Duryodhana did? He disturbed Draupadi in open royal court. Which means he doesn't have any fear of dharma. He doesn't have any fear of law and order situation. That is completely unacceptable. When Krishna is saying that I will descend whenever there is a irreligiosity, whenever paritranaya sadhuna vinashaya chadrisam, right? When he is saying I will come and descend whenever there is a decline in dharma, in this case of Duryodhana, it's more, Duryodhana is not at all worrying about dharma. He is openly doing all atrocities on Pandavas. Right? That is the reason Krishna killed Duryodhana and all the people who are supporting his army. Right? So this is what we can see example. So nobody is enforcing here. If you see, these people are killed in the war. Even Rama, and that's what one other important thing people will call. In Bhagavad Gita, people talk about war, right? Bhagavad Gita is propagating war. But that is not the case. When we understand this, people who are following adharma, those people were killed. That's what Krishna is saying, right? Whenever there is a decline in dharma, I will descend, I will protect the dharma. How? By killing miscreants. That is what we could see. In Bhagavad Gita, if you see, there are 700 verses. Hardly 10, first chapter, few verses talking about war. Rest all things, there are no mention of war, right? It's only, he was trying to provide the knowledge to Krishna, Arjuna, by speaking Bhagavad Gita, but he is not talking about the war. The war had happened because of the adharma was prevailing, and that is Krishna's job to establish dharma. That's why he came and he orchestrated the war. Even if you see Pandavas army, Pandavas actually all are devotees of Krishna. Right? We can see it. And in the Pandavas army, we can see Draupadi is there. And he is a devotee of Shiva. There is no such thing that, okay, all Pandavas armies are devotees of Krishna and all Pandavas people should definitely worship Krishna. There is no such rule. People have a choice. People have a free will. So this Drupada and everybody, their family god is Shiva. They worship Shiva. So there is no such thing that if it is if you are a devotee of Krishna, everyone, compulsory, all his people have to worship Krishna. There is no such mandatory rule. The bhakti is voluntary. That's what Krishna mentioned in the previous verses, as mentioned in the previous verses. Now, the two key aspects which we can understand for any establishing Rama Rajya, the kingdom like Ram is, first is dharma, second one is bhakti. But dharma is compulsory, it's a rule, everyone has to follow. But bhakti is not enforcing. Yes, people have to follow the bhakti, but nobody should force him to follow the bhakti. Now, when these two parameters, we can say like a pyramid or the triangle, when we say the bottom portion is dharma, the foundation of is bhakti, the bottom portion of the triangular pyramid, if you can imagine, the bottom portion is filled with dharma. On top of dharma, bhakti will come. So, the bhakti, foundation for bhakti is dharma. That is the important factor. So, in order to establish bhakti, dharma is required, but bhakti is not enforced. So, when we read with these two parameters, dharma and bhakti, there are four different combinations are possible. Right? One is, when there is no dharma, one option is, these are the two parameters. Like we are trying to understand what is Rama Rajya, right? In the Rama Rajya, when based on the Bhagavad Gita discussion, what we conclude that from 4.7, 4.8, 4.9, 4.10 verses, we are dharma and bhakti are the important. Dharma is mandatory, bhakti is not enforced. Now with these two parameters, dharma and bhakti, different ways people can take. One possible option is when the people don't follow dharma and people don't follow bhakti. What will happen? When they don't follow dharma, like people will, if you say somebody that, okay, eating or drinking alcohol is not a good thing, it's not good for health, it's not a dharmic thing, it's not eating non-veg, like killing animals and eating animals is not a dharmic thing. If you say something, some people will say, no, that is not correct. They will give that or argument and they'll do all the things, but they don't accept whatever you say. And the bhakti, there is no question of bhakti. They don't worship. What will happen? Completely, it's like an atheistic environment. Right? Nobody is worshipping God. Nobody is following any rules and regulations. What will happen? It is an atheistic environment. People don't believe God or anything. What were the consequences? When you do bad things, you will suffer in this life. Anyway, because of the bad things, you drink alcohol. And next day morning, you will have different bodily problems. Right? But not only that, when you follow this no dharma, no bhakti case, what will happen? You will suffer in this life. And next life also, you will go to hell. Because you all do bad things, obvious destination would be hell. But that is one option. The second option, when you do dharma, but no bhakti, what will happen? You do all follow dharma, but there is no bhakti. As soon as there is no bhakti, what will happen? Karma will come into the picture. Right? Whatever you do, you will have to take a reaction, and for that you need to take another birth. So, what will be the destination of your next birth? Based on activities, what you do in this current life, you will go to take the birth in the next life. That is one. The third possibility. So, we have seen two possibilities so far. No dharma, no bhakti. What will be the situation of people? And when there is bhakti, no dharma is there, no bhakti, what would be the destination of the people? Now, the third possibility is there is the no dharma, only bhakti. This is that situation. Possibility is there. This we can see in most of the world currently it's happening. More extremism, more radicalism prevailing, right? You follow my religion. There is no dharma question. There is no question of dharma. You follow my religion, otherwise I will kill you. That is what happening we could see outside world. Right? So this is the extremism, more radicalism, where but no dharma, they don't follow any virtues, they don't follow any ethical values, moral values, only say, okay, you worship my religion, you join my religion, you follow my religion, otherwise I'll kill you. That kind of mentality, example. But the last and important is both dharma and bhakti. Both are integrated. This is the situation of Rama Rajya, means in this Rajya, it's not just worshipping Ram, it's both dharma and bhakti integrated. Dharma, when you follow dharma, it inspires you to partake bhakti. That is, both are integrated. When you follow dharma, your bhakti will be also, it will develop automatically. Or when you you start following bhakti, you will also develop dharmic qualities. So, this is where the Rama Rajya, basic principles of Rama Rajya. People will follow dharma and people will follow bhakti. Though bhakti is not Krishna is enforcing, people will follow. Like we see in the Rama Rajya, example we take. It's not just the Lord Ram is Supreme Lord, because we call it as a great, because of that it is a Rama Rajya. That is one point. Yet, but if you see other players in the Lord Ram pastime, we have many like Bharat. He got the kingdom when Ram went to forest. But did he own his kingdom? He said, okay, no, it is not my kingdom. I am not supposed to take kingdom. What he did? Just on behalf of Ram, he ruled. As soon as Ram came back, he returned the kingdom. Right? That is what he is following the dharma. Hanuman is that great devotee. He is doing so many, he is following dharma. At the same time, he is worshipping Lord Ram. The bhakti is there. It's like dharma and bhakti, like how we can see in Rama Rajya means, I give two material examples. If you see any movie, in some movies, what will happen? Hero is the only completely projected. His dance, his fights, so many things. People will go mad and people will watch movies and it will become big hit. That is one kind of movie. But some other movies where story will be there, hero will be there and supporting role is there. The interaction between all the action among all the actors, roles, that movie will become successful, right? It's not just one person is the reason for success in this case, second instance. So everybody is playing role. Similarly, in Rama Rajya, Ram is great, Ram is Supreme Lord. Yes, that is one point. But other things, if you see various roles involved in Rama Rajya, right? Is people playing different roles. Mother Sita, Ram told not to come to forest. But she said, no, it is my dharma. As a wife, I have to follow my husband. I will come to the forest. Bharat also did. Same thing, Hanuman is he was a devotee. He surrendered to Ram. Every time, constantly absorbed in Ram. So, we could see that in the Rama Rajya means not just Ram is the one king, and because of that he became a Rama Rajya. Not only that, we have to chant only Ram. If it is Rama Rajya means we have to chant Ram. That is one aspect, but that is not nobody is enforcing that in the Rama Rajya. These are the basic principles. So when you do bhakti, is voluntary, dharma is mandatory, both were integrated in Rama Rajya. That is the underlying principle when we say Rama Rajya. So in the same case, in today's story, Dhruva Maharaj is becoming emperor, right? So Uttanapada is observing, taking consultation from all the ministers and observing on his own Dhruva Maharaj's nature, and he is following, asking people, considering all, he was making the emperor. So Dhruva Maharaj is also, these characters, when they are consulting ministers, when they are taking public opinion on these factors, how Dhruva Maharaj can implement this through bhakti, how people can, Dhruva Maharaj can enforce dharma. These things they will evaluate, and based on that, when they are satisfied, yes, Dhruva Maharaj is in a right position to implement this dharma and bhakti, then they made him emperor. Of course, he is a devotee of Vishnu, there is no question. Definitely he will be. So these are the parameters when you are deciding a person to be king or not. We need to ensure that the dharma and bhakti should be considered. So how the dharma can be teach? When people can learn dharma, two ways. One is shastra, second one is shastra, means weapon. Right? Shastra is there. Through various shastra, it will have provide the knowledge, and through intelligent people like great sages, like that's what we discussed in the Varnashrama system. Brahmana will teach this Shastra. Using that, we have to understand, we need what is the essence of our life, what is the goal of life, and how we need to and then, if you are not agreeing, people are denying the Shastra, then Shastra will come, where we need to take the that's what Krishna is doing, the Yada Dharma. He will come down to his representative or his incarnation, and he will try to take the punishment, those who are not following the Dharma. So these are all the various different aspects how dharma can be learned. And when we see some of the pastimes of Swayambhuva Manu, like in the third canto we see it, when the Swayambhuva Manu and Kardama Muni met each other first time. Kardama Muni was like a sage. He got a darshan of Vishnu, and Swayambhuva Manu is a king, son of a Brahma. When they met each other, Kardama Muni was paying obeisances to Swayambhuva Manu. Then the reason what they are explaining is Swayambhuva Manu is a king. King is a representation of Supreme Lord Vishnu. He is a representation of. His aim is to protect people. If anybody is suffering due to irreligious things, he has to protect. So the basic thing, he is the representative of Supreme Lord Vishnu. So that's why, irrespective of whatever position you have, we have to respect king. That is the importance of king in olden days. They have to protect the people. They have to establish dharma. He is a representative of Vishnu. So his job is to ensure that people in his kingdom following the dharma. That is his responsibility. Even in the subsequent chapters of this canto, like the 14th chapter, we have King Vena's pastimes. Right? There also, he was not doing the ruling. King Vena is not a good emperor, a king. So he was doing so many bad things. Then sages were telling the king, they were all sages assembled, great sages, they went and spoke to King Vena, saying that what a king's responsibility should be. Right? He was saying that he has to protect all the citizens from thieves and rogues in the country. That is one of the. And for that, he has to travel all over the country, kingdom, and ensure that all his citizens are protected. And that the sages were telling, king should take taxes only if he is able to protect them. Otherwise, he should not take any taxes. So there are various responsibilities. So underlying principle is one thing, how this monarchical rule was successful in the previous days, olden days, they are under the advice of great sages. The Varnashrama Dharma was prominent, properly followed. The great sages like Narada, like Vyasadev, many sages were guiding the kings in a right path. Because of that, it was successful. And we could see same thing in the Dhruva Maharaj pastime. The Uttanapada is a Rajarshi. He is also saintly king. Under his guidance, he became emperor, and he was also ruling the kingdom like a Rama Rajya. So with this I will conclude. I will stop here. Any comments? Any questions? ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। गौर भक्त वृंद की जय।